Okay, so I've done a few videos on Betterment, and I won't say a bad thing about them. It's a really great service. But let me paint a picture for you. At Betterment, when you open your account, they basically buy a handful of products, good products, nothing wrong with those, but basically you just go along for the ride. Now over time, you should do just fine and keep up with whatever the markets are doing, but that's it. They're just buying investments and then holding on to them for the long term. Now, what if someone would do the exact same thing, but over time that someone would rent those products out to other traders and let you keep the rental income? Let me explain. Oh, before I do this though, let me also preface this by saying there's no catch, there's no gotcha, there's no extra fees, there's no extra risk. Okay, so here's the deal. I manage retirement accounts for people. IRAs, Roth IRAs, I help you roll over your 401ks if that's what you have. And while it's not suitable for everyone, there's actually a strategy that we can use called covered call writing, or some people also say selling covered calls. Now you can look this up, just search covered calls online if you like to. It's really geeky, there's a lot of information there. But if you want a simple explanation, let's do that here. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is pretend that the products that are in your account are actually houses and not actual products. So if you had a bunch of exchange traded funds in your account or stocks, whatever, just pretend that each one of them is a house. Now, none of you would actually go buy a bunch of houses and then just leave them there, right? You would buy a house to either live in it, flip it, or rent it out to someone and collect that income. Now, over time, whatever rental income that you made would help offset your cost of the house. Maybe you're paying off a mortgage, or maybe you had cash and you bought the house and you're slowly getting that cash back with a little bit of interest. Eventually, technically, you would be able to pay off the house, and then any money that you brought in from rental income, you would just keep, and that would be your income. Now let's stop right here. The analogy that I'm using is just that. It is exactly the same as buying rental homes and renting them out. There's no catch, right? There's no extra gimmick here, so keep that in mind as we go along. Now, if they were actual houses, or if you've ever been a landlord in real life, then you know there's a few things that could really go wrong here. You could get a bad tenant, maybe they don't pay their rent, maybe someone just doesn't like you, or they get mad at you and they wreck your house and smash the walls, things like that. It could go really bad. You could also go long periods of time without ever finding a tenant. Well, with the investments in your account, since we're pretending that those are houses, there is no such thing as that. The tenants are always available. There are millions of them at a click of a button that are willing to pay you rental income for the products inside of your retirement account. Also, they pay the rent upfront and on time every time. No questions asked, it's always paid up front. And also, because the products in your retirement account are digital, they're not actual physical things that can be wrecked, the tenant can never do any damage to the products in your IRAs. Now, going back to that house analogy real quick. If you've ever been a landlord, you know that when you rent a house to someone, somewhere along the way, they may come to you and say, we really love this house and we'd love to buy it from you. Now, it's your choice. Do you want to sell it to them, or do you just want to find another tenant? The same works with the investments in your retirement account. We're going to rent out each individual one of them over the course of some time. But occasionally what's going to happen is someone's going to come and say, hey, we want to buy this product from you. We've been renting it this whole time. We love it. We want to own it. And they may offer to buy it from you. There's a slight difference though with the products in your retirement account. See, every time we rent the product out to somebody, there'll be a sales price attached to it, meaning they'll know what we're willing to sell it for. And if the price of the product in your account goes to that, well, then they may want to buy it. It may be a good value. If the price of the product goes over the sales price, well, then there's some advantage for them to buy it at that discounted price that we both agreed upon, and then they can do whatever they want with it. That does happen. Now, it's really not a big deal. If the tenant agrees to buy the product from you, then we'll just go buy another one and we'll repeat the same process over and over again. Now, just as easily as you could replicate Betterment's approach to retirement investing, you could take this same covered call strategy and you could do it yourself if you were into it. But if you want a guy to be your property manager, then that's what we do here at Jazz Wealth. Feel free to go to jazzwealth.com, go up to the top, click Invest Now, and I will personally follow up with you to get your account opened or transferred from wherever it's at. If you have more questions, feel free to leave a comment. You can always send me an email, or as always, you can contact me directly anytime at